All right, today we're going to tear up that old rule book. You know the one that says your income is tied directly to the hours you put in? We're diving into a completely new playbook, and it's all about 3 huge shifts: from time to value, from just effort to true mastery, and from simply working harder to working with real actual leverage.
So let's kick things off with a really important question about how you work. Think about it. Are you getting paid for the effort you put in or for the results you deliver? If your career kind of feels like you're stuck on a treadmill where the only way to earn more is to just run faster and longer, well, you are in exactly the right place, because we're about to show you how to hop right off.
You know, pricing expert Jonathan Stark just hits the nail on the head with this. He points out this totally backward paradox with the hourly model. Just think about it for a second. The better you get at your job, the more efficient you become, which means you actually earn less money for doing the exact same task. It's a system that literally punishes you for improving. How crazy is that?
And if you look at it from a wealth-building perspective, the investor and philosopher Naval Ravikant is even more blunt. He says you're just not going to get rich renting out your time. There's a hard mathematical ceiling on it, right? There are only so many hours in a day. He argues that real financial freedom, that comes from ownership.
Okay, so before we can break out of this time for money trap, we really need to get our heads around how it works and why it holds back even the most talented professionals out there.
This image right here, this is the old way of thinking. Perfectly captured. Your entire value is measured by a clock. The hours you put in, your inputs, are directly tied to the money you make, your outputs. It's a straight line. It's predictable. And ultimately, it's totally capped.
But the problem goes so much deeper than just a capped income. It actually pits your goals against your clients'. Think about it. With hourly billing, you're on opposite sides. You're incentivized to take longer to make more money, and your client wants it done as quickly and cheaply as possible. This totally changes the focus from your strategic brain power to just the cost of your time. You stop being a trusted expert, and you just become a vendor.
So how in the world do you escape this trap? Well, the journey doesn't actually begin with changing your prices. Nope. It starts with becoming a master of your craft.
Author Cal Newport gives us this really powerful idea he calls career capital. You can pretty much forget that old advice to follow your passion. Instead, Newport says you should be relentlessly focused on building up skills that are so rare and so valuable that the world can't help but reward you for them. This is the capital you eventually trade for the things you really want: control over your work, your time, and yeah, your income. And to do that, you have to adopt what he calls the craftsman mindset. So instead of trying to find some passion that's already out there, you just focus on the quality of the work right in front of you. And that deep satisfaction, that passion you're looking for, it actually shows up as a result of becoming amazing at what you do. Mastery first, then the passion follows.
This quote really becomes your North Star. Be so good they can't ignore you. Because when you reach that level, you gain the power, the leverage to set your own terms. Your skill is no longer just a service you provide. It's a powerful asset. It's the foundation for everything we're going to talk about next.
So once you've built up all that career capital, you've earned the right to completely change the conversation with your clients. This is the moment we stop talking about your time and start talking about their results.
And here's the pivot. This is huge. You stop selling your labor and you start selling a transformation. Value pricing, it has nothing to do with what it costs you to do the work. It's all about what the final outcome is worth to your client. You're basically selling the solution to a very expensive problem they have.
The insight here is so brilliantly simple. I mean, no client in history has ever woken up and thought, you know what I need today? I need to buy 40 hours of some consultant's time. No way. They wake up thinking, I have this massive, expensive problem and I need it to go away. They want the outcome. Your service is just how they get there.
So how do you figure out what that value is? You have what's called a value conversation. Instead of talking all about your process, you ask about their business. First, you figure out what success looks like. What's a home run for this project? Then, you find out why it's urgent. Why is this so important to solve right now? And finally, you get to the stakes. What's the cost of just doing nothing? The answers to these questions? That's what tells you the true value you can provide.
And here's a pro tip for putting this into practice. Always present 3 fixed price options. You know, like a good, better, best model. This move completely reframes the client's decision. They stop asking themselves, should I hire you? And they start asking, how should I hire you? It anchors your value and, honestly, it gives them a sense of control, which they love.
All right, now for the last piece of the puzzle. And this is the real game changer.
It's all about scaling your impact beyond what you can do yourself. This is where real wealth is built.
This chart shows it all. It's the difference between linear income and leveraged income. Renting out your time, it's like being on a hamster wheel. Your inputs, your time will forever be tied to your outputs, your money. But with leverage, it's like planting a tree. You create an asset, a system that works for you, and you finally disconnect your time from your ability to earn.
And in this digital world we live in, the most powerful kind of leverage is what Naval calls permissionless leverage. I mean, think about it. You don't need anyone's permission to write some code or create an online course or start a podcast. You can build a digital product one time, and that one thing can go on to serve thousands of people and make money for you, literally, while you sleep.
So what does this actually look like? Well, you could package your expertise into digital products, like video courses or templates. You could standardize a service you offer all the time into a productized service with a clear scope and a fixed price. Or you could offer high-end advisory services where clients are paying for access to your brain, not just your hands.
Okay, let's pull all these amazing ideas together into one simple, actionable playbook that you can start thinking about, well, right now.
See, the path here is a clear progression. It all starts with step 1, building your career capital so you become so good they just can't ignore you. Then, step 2, you use that expertise to change the whole conversation to be about outcomes, not hours. And finally, step 3. You use leverage to scale your impact and totally shatter that link between your time and your money.
This is the ultimate evolution. It's a strategic journey. You start out as a technician, selling your labor, your hands. Then you evolve into a strategist, selling your insights, your brain. And you finally end up as an owner, building systems that create value at scale, completely independent of you having to be there.
So, we're going to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Stop asking what an hour of your time is worth. The new question, the real question is, what is the most valuable outcome I can create for someone, and how can I build a system to deliver that outcome over and over again? Believe me, the answer to that question, it changes absolutely everything.